Welcome back, YouTube and all Palworld fans, to part 3 of my Humans Only Run series. Obviously, at the end of this, we're going to fight the 3rd tower boss, and this video took a long time and low-key took a lot out of me. But it was fun to play all the same. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun to play, and I hope you all enjoy the video. As soon as I got loaded into the world, I went straight over to the church where you can find Zoe and started mining up a bunch of ore. We're going to need it, and I'm constantly critically low on it at all times due to not having anybody with a level 2 mining ability, which is what you need for them to mine ore and coal and stuff like that. After that, I went right back to base and I set up a ore mine there. I know mined all that ore just to set up an ore mine, but this way my pals with level 1 mining are actually capable of mining ore, and I can have a somewhat steady supply of it, and I don't need to leave the base every single time I need ore anymore. After doing that bit of base management and resource collection, I went to the Anubis Desert to stockpile on coal since we were going to need some for all the refined metal ingots we would need later on for armor, weapons, and some future plans that I have for our pals. While I was out there, I also decided to try and catch a merchant. For some reason, I was under the impression I didn't have a merchant that sold the things this one sold, but I was successful, and I actually did already have a merchant capable of doing that. But that's okay, another one doesn't hurt. After that, I made a weapons assembly line and then went out to go and do some boss fights. The first fight I went to go do was the Elizabeth fight. I almost immediately realized I bit off more than I can chew, as I was almost dead before Elizabeth was even half health. I tried to run away, but believe it or not, Elizabeth chased me down. And when I say chased me down, I mean chased me all the way till near about the entrance of the boss arena. But we did end up being able to beat her at the end, though it was very touch and go for a very long time. Right after I went and fought Bushi, who was a little more my size now, and I kicked him because I'm still mad at him from ending the first boss rush from the first video. I kicked him twice, actually. It felt very good to kick Bushi. And then I went and bullied Wyvern. It's Wyvern. It was an easy boss fight. Wyvern always is an easy boss fight. Next on the menu was Finglope, or Fanglope. I'm not really sure how you say his name. I say Fing. Then I went and fought Univolts. This was very sad for me. Not really. It's just a video game. But Univolt is one of my favorite pals in the game. My favorite land mount. So I was actually a little sad to the fact that I couldn't catch him. I still kicked it. You know, I still kicked it. Time for something just a wee bit more interesting. I decided that I needed to go to Desolate Desert. You'll figure out more about why later. Not just to find the tower there, but to do some other stuff. I mostly traveled at nighttime because it's safer, because most of the very powerful pals are asleep. And then when I got to the coastline near it, I constructed this little bridge thing that I used to like launch myself towards the island. I didn't really get the speed that I wanted, but I did make it, and I suppose that is what is most important. And then right after doing that, I constructed a PAL box, went home, and stood perfectly still in my base while my pals did things, because I didn't want to do that until nighttime. I didn't want to get caught out during the daytime where all the really powerful pals are awake. It took exactly 10 seconds for me to get completely and utterly bored with just sitting around, and now I'm fighting King Paka instead. My ADHD strikes once again. I can't just sit and do nothing. I have to do something. It wasn't time to go back to the desert just yet, so I just went and fought Penelia instead. She was an easy fight. You see this mining footage here? This was all happening while I was taking a test in my psychology class. It didn't take very long, actually. The test was pretty simple. Not really a test, more of a quiz, actually. I still don't like behavioral science. I should have picked a different minor, but I had to pick either this, business, or whatever the other one was for my history degree. So I went with this because I thought it'd be cool. It's not. This sucks so much. After that, I went back to the desert. It was nighttime again. I came a little late, as you can probably tell, but it was fine. I set up a PAL box just in case I died after running by the tower that was there. But I did eventually, as day dawned, spot Dune Shelter in the distance. After I made it to Dune Shelter, I went and looked at what the merchants were selling. They didn't really have anything that would make me stronger or anything that I couldn't already get, so I decided to go ahead and start on the real reason that I came to Desolate Desert to begin with. I won a supply drop hunt to look for a certain blueprint. Here's how that went. Almost died to a Xenolord, ran with my tail between my legs, went home, made a bunch of ammos, spent several hours standing still, and then finally got what I was looking for, the semi-auto blueprints. It was rough. After doing all of that and spending several hours doing all of it across a few days, I went back home to see what it would cost to craft this thing, and we were decently close to having the materials that we needed to craft it, but it could have always been better. It won't take us long to get everything we need, though. So I went to gather some resources like metal, went to do some supply drop hunting, and then went and fought the boss Fumble to try and capture him. Fumble, like Urchint, a boss on Sakurajima, and any of the Moonflower, Guinea, and Joni have a katana. And if they have a katana, they do katana damage with their basic attack, instead of a normal punch. Here's an example. So, like I just said, he can do great damage. I noticed this later on, not at the time of me recording this clip, but after playing for a little bit, I did realize that boss humans have a harder time hitting non-boss enemies. I think it's because of the difference in size of their hitbox, and you see here that Fumble is struggling a little bit to hit, but he is consistently doing more than 500 damage in attack, which is all he needs to do for me. Thanks to all of my resource gathering and fighting Fumble, I had everything I need in order to craft the semi-auto rifle. This little beauty has 9 bullets in it and does damage comparable to the musket with just 1 bullet. My ability to damage people has gone up immensely, and I'm going to need it if I'm going to take on the next tower boss. After crafting the gun, I went to go test it by fighting the twin bosses, Dyna and Might. Yes, their names are Dynamite. Anyway, I lured Might away from Dyna and caught him first, and then I went and caught Dyna. I had to use the musket for Dyna because limited ammo for the semi-auto rifle. After that, it was time for me to try and level up, so I went to go do a few bosses. First, Relaxosaurus Lux. After Relaxosaurus was Broncherry Aqua. That was a very easy fight. Then I went and fought Alphedron, also incredibly easy. And then Beacon, who was less easy, despite being a lower level. This did level me up, giving me the ability to craft rifle ammo, which was great. Right after, I went and fought Flare, because Flare is the only human with a level 2 ability at smelting. The plans did get just a tiny bit derailed when this random pal showed up and just made a mess of the whole fight. It was a whole thing, but we got it down, and then I went and caught Flare, who surprisingly was very quick to catch. Remember earlier when I said anybody with a katana is a great person to catch because they do way more damage with just their basic hit than a normal human would? Well, I tried to catch some, the Moonflower Jinin and Jonin, and then this Quivern Brotan got in the way. Quivern Brotan is a wonderful pal. I love Quivern. I love Quivern Brotan. They were the bane of my existence while I was making this video, because every time I tried to catch these guys, a Quivern Brotan would show up and ruin my plans. As you can see, Quivern Brotan hit me multiple times, the Moonflower Jonin hit me multiple times, and then after I tried to catch his student once more, the Moonflower Jinin showed me he is still better than I am, even as just a simple student. After getting my things back from Sakurajima, I went and mined metal ore at my base for the entire time. Fun fact, the entire time I was doing that, I was taking an exam. After mining up all the metal that I needed, I just grinded until I had what I need to make my new set of armor. I'm not going to show you all of that because it was painful to do. Regardless of how painful something was, I needed to do all of this so I can go and catch Flare. Having another Flare around means easier time smelting metal, and I need an easier time smelting metal, because if I don't, I am going to go insane. It was time to go back to Sakurajima and try and catch another Genin and Jonin, and I was actually successful this time in catching 2 different Genin. It was difficult, and Quadrant, love Quadrant, he keeps getting in the way whenever I'm trying to do this, but that's fine. Later on, in fact, I was even able to catch a Jonin for the first time, which is great for me because catching these things are such a pain. There is still another boss I would like to catch to add to my regular PAL repertoire, but we'll have to get to that later. By the way, I did not manage to catch these other 2. I don't have the clip of me failing and dying. I probably deleted it out of anger, but this is where the clip ends. I then proceeded to spend the next hour of my life trying to figure out how this electricity stuff was going to work, because it's still a pain in the rear. I'm not going to bore you guys with all of this. Just know I never really fixed it. I still understand how to use humans for electricity power, and I really want to add a Lucky Clause that will let me use a Lucky Electric Pal as a way to continue this series going. It would be beneficial to be able to use Lucky Electric Pals, but I don't know. I guess I'll have to leave that up to you guys. See how y'all feel about it. It would be up to y'all, not me. So I did a rematch with Zoe and Grisbolt. It was easier than it was the first time. Not really surprised. You may have noticed that we have seemingly skipped very far ahead into the run. And that is because I have decided to cut out what was literally 10 plus hours worth of footage in gameplay time where I literally just ran around trying to collect the spears I needed to catch Urchin and dying on Faybreak, getting those spears and getting my stuff back after I died on Faybreak, and fighting off Bushi and other creatures that kept getting in the way every time I would try and fight Urchin. I am not going to subject you to all of that. Just know, I suffered for several hours. Multiple days of my real life were spent doing this, because I was not going to sit down and play Palworld for 10 hours straight. I have decided to rename my team to make it a bit more personalized. First up, we have Urchin. His new name is Hannibal Barca. Next up, we have Fumble, whose new name is now Sakai. You get bonus points for figuring out where Sakai came from. Then we have the nameless Jonin, whose new name is Aphelion. Then we have the nameless Genin, whose new name is Omega, and the last nameless Genin, whose new name is Olanius Pius. 10 points if you can figure out where that name. I'm sure all of you were expecting footage of my epic climb up, considering the fact that most people fly up the side of Mount Obsidian in order to, get to this place. Here's the thing. I'm missing a lot of clips. This stuff was recorded a while ago. But anyway, you know how it is. You know how I like to do the boss fights, unedited for the most part. So, I hope you guys enjoy the fight. Thank you to everyone for watching this far into the video. If you made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe. I know this video is a little bit on the late side as far as coming out. Haven't made videos in a while, but I'm getting back into the groove of things. You know, when you have like three 20-page papers to do towards the end of the semester, things get a little hectic. You know how it is. I also know a lot of clips are missing. The footage is older, so I've just lost some clips as time has gone on. So I do apologize for that, but thank you all the same for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.